Alright, welcome to this video. So in this video, the topic is going to be how can you as an interior design company scale faster than any other interior design company in 2025. I'm going to break down what exactly are the best practices used by all the biggest multi-million dollar interior design companies and hand them all over to you in this video here today. Okay, so before we get started with something like this, right, the most important thing is to actually break down what is do I mean by scaling a company, right? So let's break down a few things, right? So when we talk about scaling a company, let's talk, of course, about sales revenue. Okay, so that's the first thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about sales revenue. Okay, so in this video, we're not going to talk a little more about like profit margin. We're not going to talk about how to reduce the cost of a supplier, blah blah blah. That is all out of the question. Okay, this specific video, we're going to cover more specifically about sales revenue. Okay, how can you generate more sales? How can you get better quality leads? How can you close more deals? Anything with related to sales and closing deals here today in this video. Okay, so when we break it down, okay, with your sales revenue, okay, let's talk a little bit more about sales revenue. So let's break down what's sales revenue, right? Equals to total sales. Okay, so for most business owners, there's still many interior design bosses today, right? That the reason probably why you're not seeing the success you want with your scaling your sales is because you don't understand this enough. Okay, so when we talk about total sales is basically a mathematical formula that we derive from number of leads times the closing rate times what? Your average project sum. Okay, so most business owners, right, the reason why they're not even successful with this in the first place is because they don't know the equation, they don't know what do they need to focus on, they don't know how to track their numbers, etc., etc. So I'm going to share that all with you today. Okay, so the first thing that you want to talk about when it comes to closing more deals is that when it comes to the number of leads that you're actually getting, how do you get more leads? Okay, so when we're talking about number of leads, there's primarily only two ways that you can do it nowadays based on Singapore market, right? You either buy leads. Okay, so this is from like Renopedia, etc. Okay, or the other way you can do your own marketing. Okay, there's generally two ways to do that. Okay, and then yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about that. So when we talk about buying leads, right, of course, you know, buying leads brings about its own set of challenges, which is that the leads are actually shared. Normally between 5 to 8 interior designers. Okay, interior designers or interior design companies actually. All right, and more often than not, okay, it's very tough to close the deal because you're sharing these leads. You know, why would they choose you? Are you the cheapest? Are you the most popular? Or do you have the best quality and best design? If you don't have any of these, then you're going to find it very, very difficult to actually close these deals. Okay, then the next thing that we actually take a look at is doing your own marketing, right? So when we talk about own marketing, there's also is own few ways to do it, right? So you have like Facebook and IG, then you have like TikTok, then you have Xiaohongshu, then you have Google Ads, you have SEO. Okay, this is generally those few ways that you can actually leverage on doing your own marketing and seeing some form of results with that. Okay, so from what we actually see, we are always very, very big advocates of Facebook and Instagram. Let me tell you why, okay? Because Facebook and Instagram, number one, okay, is the fastest way to generate direct leads. Okay, so it's the fastest way for you to generate direct leads. Why? Because the moment that you actually put out the advertisement, let's say today is like 10 of April, right? The next day, 11 April, like you're already going to see the leads coming in immediately already. Okay, so of course you need time to go and prepare the ads, make sure the ads look good, whatever. But that's the most important thing. It's actually the fastest way to generate direct leads for your company. Second one is also very reliable. Okay, why is it reliable? Is because you're paying for views. Okay, so as long as you are paying for views and people are watching the advertisement and they inquire to you, you get leads, you get sales. It's science, it's maths. Okay, versus other things like, for example, it's not reliable. Let's say posting online. Right, so if you post online and you use hashtags, the only way that you're going to get discovered by people who otherwise didn't know you is from when it goes viral, right? So unless you're very funny, you know, you're very good at creating interesting content that the algorithm picks up and show to strangers, typically it's not really reliable, right? Like you can see so many companies that keep posting, but then at the end of the day, they only have like 10 followers. Okay, so this is very reliable, right? Today I put in $1 and tomorrow I'm gonna have people viewing my advertisement. If it's a good advertisement, then people are actually gonna sign up with me. Okay, so it's reliable. Third one that we always tell our clients is that it's actually scalable. Okay, so what's the problem when you rely on renovation portals? Okay, which don't get me wrong, I'm never completely against renovation portals and buying leads, okay? But everything has its pros and cons, basically. Okay, so the main problem that you actually have when you're working with renovation portals is that, hey, you know, if they don't get enough leads coming to the company, then you are not going to be able to get leads coming to the company as well. Okay, so you are affected by other people not doing well, it will affect you as well. All right, and the second thing actually is that when you're actually relying on renovation portals, it's not scalable. Okay, which means that, hey, every month maybe they supply you with 50 leads, they can supply you 100 leads, but more than that they might or might not be able to keep up with you depending on their scale and your scale. Okay, so if you're actually running Facebook ads, it's very simple. Let's say you're spending $1,000 on ads, so and you get like, I don't know, 10 leads. Okay, tomorrow you can spend $10,000 on ads and you'll be able to get 100 leads. Okay, so why we're very biased with Facebook and Instagram, although which is the reason why we use it for our clients, is because Facebook and Instagram has been around for a very long time. It's very reliable and the algorithm behind it is very reliable as well. Okay, so this is why we always encourage using Facebook and Instagram to scale your business. Okay, so when we're actually talking about scaling your business with Instagram and all that, right, then the next thing we need to talk about is how do we actually do that? Okay, so the first one is by making sure that you produce really high quality ads. And you need to find a really good Facebook team behind you. Okay, that can be someone in your company, that can be something like an agency, like if you are interested to work with us, right, then that could be very useful for you as well. Okay, but basically you need people that are really good at Facebook. Okay, and I'm sharing this with you now. Now it's currently like November in 2025, so there's actually something new called the Andromeda update. Okay, so this Andromeda update has affected a lot of companies because it changed the whole way that Facebook algorithm is being used. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so that's another topic for another day, but you need to find a really good Facebook team so you can maintain the results that you're looking for. Okay, third one, okay, so when we actually break this down, right, so the first one is number of leads and the second one is closing rate. Okay, so how do you increase the closing rate? Number one, there's two ways to do it. Higher quality leads. Okay, this also pushes up your average project sum, higher quality leads. Okay, and second one is by making your salespeople close better. Okay, and the only way you can do that is right now. Okay, so let's talk about increasing closing rate. The The only way you can do that right now is number one, increasing your salesperson closing ability, right? Which means, how do they message customers? How do they call customers? How do they speak to your customers and make the customer trust them so that they are actually able to close a deal? This is the first one, increasing your close person closing ability. Second one is by increasing your lead quality. Right, so this is in conjunction with your actual ads that you're actually doing, right? Making sure that your ads are extremely effective, that they really communicate to the customer, and the customer sees like, wow, so professional, the branding is really good, then they're more inclined to actually work with you. Okay, so that's extremely important as well. All right, and the third thing you can actually increase for the closing rate is to reduce the time taken to close each customer. Okay, and the biggest way we leverage on that nowadays is this very big buzzword, which is AI. All right, so having like chatbots in place so that your IDs can get in touch with customers quicker, they can handle more customers at one time. This is ultimately how they're going to increase their closing rate. Because for most people, what actually happens is that, let's say they're dealing with like 5 leads a month and it's very doable, right? Then they're able to close 1 or 2. And then the next thing you know, when they're busy with those 1 or 2 customers already, they're not able to keep up with those next customers coming in. They don't really call and reply on time. Their capacity is fully maximized already, and they start closing lesser and lesser deals from there. Okay, so this is the biggest problem as well. All right, so for you to effectively be able to increase your closing rate, is very important that number one, okay, you need to increase your salesperson closing ability. Okay, and then number two, you can increase the lead quality through running higher quality advertisements. And number three, leveraging on AI so that your salesperson have more capacity and they can focus on closing the deals. They have time to focus on closing deals, which ultimately leads to an increase in closing rate. Okay, so what I've shared with you in this video is very important here today. Okay, number one, if you want to really increase your sales revenue, all right, then what you actually need to do is to get more leads. Okay, remember the equation here first. Total number of sales, okay, is equal to number of leads times closing rate times average project value. Okay, this is very important. The next thing you need to understand is that you need to increase the number of leads that's coming into your company. Okay, and the third thing you need to do is to actually increase your closing rate by having higher quality leads, which also boosts your average project value. All right, and then last but not least, you need to make your salespeople close better by either implementing AI or teaching them how to close better. Okay, so if let's say you're keen on understanding and working with us in person about how you can improve all of these things, Upsell has many resources for you. Okay, so for example, in terms of being able to get higher quality leads and more leads, we're holding a masterclass to show you exactly how we're going to do that. So all the ads that we run before that has worked, all the secret techniques, how to run the ads and the algorithm, we're going to show you every single thing in this masterclass. Okay, and then secondly, we're also going to show you how and what software you can implement, right? Such that when you put it in already, all your salespeople are going to close deals much easier. Okay, so you're going to have a much better time closing these deals. All right, and then last but not least, we're also going to give away our salesperson masterclass. Okay, so this is a masterclass that it's recorded because big companies actually pay us tens of thousands of dollars to show their salespeople how they can close better, right? You will be surprised, like many interior design companies out there, right? Some of their salespeople are still not good closers, so they hire experts like us to come in and teach them how to do that. Okay, so we've recorded every single minute of it. It's very useful. We're also gonna show that to you in our upcoming masterclass. Okay, so it's an in-person masterclass whereby it's going to be a small session in Singapore and we're sharing all these things. So if you're keen, click the link in the bio below, all right, sign up and get access to a masterclass. And yeah, hopefully we're going to see you there. So I hope you enjoyed this video and yeah, see you at our masterclass.